Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our groups will be present about conceptual foundation of ESG or Sukuk and Green Sukuk.
Let's take a look about the first one. There are four relationships between finance, principles, and sustainability. The first one is prohibition of riba, which is its promote responsible financing. Investment must be linked to real economic activities and assets. Returns are generated from project performance, not interest. Support sustainable projects such as renewable energy and green infrastructure. Second one is ethical social responsibility, which is it creates positive social impact, which both Islamic finance and ESG reject harmful industries, encourage investment in healthcare, education, affordable housing, and clean energy. The last one is promote social welfare and environmental protection. The third one is avoidance of gharar. Islamic finance prohibits excessive uncertainty and speculation. ESG Sukuk required clear disclosure of fund usage and sustainability outcomes. It for sure will improve investors' confidence through transparent reporting. The last one is risk sharing SDG alignment, which supports sustainable development, which is investors and issuers share risk and rewards fairly. Sukuk are backed by real assets that contribute to economic growth. And the last one is help achieve SDGs such as clean energy, sustainable cities, and climate action.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nartira Adila binti Muhairin. I will explain the difference between conventional bonds and sukuk. As shown on the slide, I have made a comparison between conventional bonds and sukuk in several aspects to help us clearly understand their differences. So, both conventional bonds and sukuk are financial instruments used by companies or governments to raise money from investors. However, there are differences in several ways. First, conventional bond is a loan. When investors buy a bond, they are lending money to the issuer. In return, the issuer pays interest, also called coupon payments, and repays the original amount when the bond matures. On the other hand, sukuk is based on ownership of an asset, not a loan. When investors buy sukuk, they own a share of an underlying asset such as building or project. Instead of earning interest, they receive profits or rental income generated by that asset. Another important difference is that conventional bonds involve interest, which is prohibited under Islamic law, while sukuk is designed to be Sharia compliant, meaning it follows Islamic financial principles and avoid interest. Apart from that, as we can see on the slide, bullets number 6, the risk is also different. Bondholders mainly face the risk that the issuer cannot repay the loan, while sukuk holders share the risk and rewards of the underlying asset because they have an ownership interest. Last but not least, conventional bonds are debt instruments that pay interest, while sukuk are asset-based investment certificates that provide profit from real assets and comply with Islamic principles. In summary, conventional bonds consist of debt and interest, while sukuk involve asset ownership and profit or rental income. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. My name is Nurul Misra binti Mizan Sakri. Today, I will be presenting the key characteristics of ESG Seri Sukuk and Green Sukuk within the context of Islamic finance. Let me begin with ESG Seri Sukuk. The first characteristic of ESG Seri Sukuk is compliance with Sharia requirement and Islamic ethical values. This ensures that investment activities are conducted responsibly and in accordance with Islamic principles. The second characteristic is the integration of environmental, social, and governance or ESG factor into investment decision. This promotes responsible investing and supports sustainable development. Another important characteristic is the financing of sustainable and responsible projects, such as education, healthcare, affordable housing, and renewable energy. Lastly, ESG ESG Seri Sukuk emphasize impact, measurement and disclosure. Issuers are expected to report on the utilization of proceeds and the sustainability outcome achieved to ensure transparency and accountability. Now, let us move on to green sukuk. The first characteristic of green sukuk is compliance with Sharia principle. Green sukuk must avoid prohibited elements such as riba, gharar, and investment in non-halal activities. The second characteristic is the use of proceeds for green project. The fund raised can only be used to finance environmentally sustainable projects such as renewable energy, energy efficient building, clean transportation, and waste management. Thirdly, insurers are required to establish a green sukuk framework to ensure proper allocation and management of funds. Lastly, issuer must provide regular reporting on the allocation of proceeds and environmental impact to enhance transparency and investor confidence. With that, I have explained the key characteristics of ESG, Seri Sukuk and Green Sukuk. I will now hand over the presentation to my group member who will discuss the importance of Maqasid Al-Shariah in sustainable Islamic finance.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. My name is Nur Alisha binti Roslan and I will be presenting the importance of Maqasid Al-Sharia in sustainable Islamic finance. Without further delay, firstly, the importance of Maqasid Al-Sharia is promoting public welfare, which is known as maslahah. As I mentioned earlier, ESG, Sukuk and also Green Sukuk finance projects that improve quality of life while protecting future generations. Next, the important is in achieving the 5 essential objectives of human life, which is known as Al-Daruriyat. So firstly, which is the protection of religion, protection of life, protection of intellect, protection of lineage, and also protection of wealth. Third, they want to support the sustainable economic development, which is they promote inclusive development by financing projects that create employment opportunities, support SMEs, improve infrastructure, and reduce poverty. Last but not least is to enhance ethical governance and also accountability. Since Maqasid Al-Sharia require honesty and also transparency, so ESG Sukuk issuers are expected to disclose how funds are used in order to increase investor confidence. So let me discuss further for the 5 essential of human objective and how they link between Maqasid Al-Sharia and also the ESG principles. So firstly, for the protection of religion, for example, they want to ensure all investment comply with Sharia principle and also ethical values. Next, for the example of protection of life, where the finances healthcare, clean water, renewable energy, and also reduction of pollution project. For the protection of intellect, where the supports education, research, innovation, and knowledge development. As for the protection of lineage, where the protect the environment and also natural resources through sustainable development. For example of protection of wealth, where they promote ethical wealth creation, financial stability, risk sharing, and also responsible environment. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I will explain the examples of sectors and project finance through ESG or Sri Sukuk. ESG or Sri Sukuk are Islamic financial instruments used to raise funds for projects that generate positive environmental and social impacts. Firstly, in the environmental sector, ESG Sukuk commonly finance renewable energy projects such as solar power plants, hydroelectric projects, and wind farms. These projects help reduce carbon emissions and support the transition towards clean energy. Another important sector is green buildings. Funds raised through ESG Sukuk can be used to develop energy-efficient buildings that consume less electricity and water, contributing to environmental sustainability. ESG Sukuk also supports sustainable transportation projects such as MRT, LRT, and electric vehicle charging infrastructure. This project help reduce traffic congestion and pollution while promoting low-carbon transportation. Besides environmental projects, Sri Sukuk also finance social projects. For example, funds can be used to build schools, universities, hospitals, and healthcare facilities. This project improve access to education and healthcare services, benefiting society as a whole. In Malaysia, there are several successful examples. Tadau Energy issued that the world's first green sukuk to finance solar energy projects in Sabah. Another example in Khazanah National's Sri Sukuk Ihsan, which was used to support educational programs and student development. In conclusion, ESG and Sri Sukuk play an important role in financing projects that not only generate financial return but also create positive environmental and social impact, contributing to sustainable development. Thank you.